Born and raised in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario College of Art educated Robert Ralph Carmichael worked for many years away, but his heart and his painting reflected his love of the Algoma area landscape.
I'd like people to see my paintings, really, more than myself, and because they have I guess I put most of my life energy into the paintings, more than any other area that I can think of. And I think the paintings, I hope the paintings speak for me. And a few coin designs too on the side.
Walking Spirits showcases the scope of Carmichael's work, including landscape and his symbolic anthology.
I call it Walking Spirits because this painting behind me is the title painting for the show. And it's kind of an anthology of a lot of other paintings that I've done, you know, and with these characters or creatures that have been in the paintings. And that's why I call it Walking Spirits, because they're there and they're moving about, and, but it does symbolize many other journeys that I've gone on in terms of the earlier paintings. Well, usually when I compose a painting like this, I have a group of images. For instance, in this one, the small child in the center is myself. It's a shot of myself when I took my first steps, I think. It's just something I found as we were cleaning out the old house, you know, the house I grew up in. And so I would take an image like that and correlate it with some of the others. There's no real logical process to it. It's very intuitive. You almost you feel out the process. The images feel right together to you. And also I can't explain them logically, and I wouldn't if I could, because I like people to come to the paintings, see the images out of their experiences, which have been different from mine. They're going to find other connections and meaning between these things. Hopefully some of them will be mutual, but others won't. And I've had people look at paintings and tell me what they're about, and it had nothing to do with where I was at when I actually created them. You know, I always like to use the landscape. And I like the idea of using images that are larger than life and some that are smaller. Not really in terms of importance, like the big one's important and the small one's less important, but it's like the painting, it throws you a bit. Like there's a surreal bit and then there's a realistic bit. And I like that shift between the surreal or the fantasy and the realistic. I find that creates a lot of the magic in the painting, you know. I've seen shows in a gallery where you walk in and you just can't relate to it. You know, it just doesn't make it, why did the guy do this sort of thing? Well, I'm hoping people will get involved in the paintings and spend some time and searching and so on, and finding some meaning in them, even if it's just being delighted by the representational part of them. Because they're part of the process too. Like you paint, but it takes the public to really make the whole thing work. Just like any other performing art, the public has to respond, and I just hope that it works for them.
Both Carmichael and his wife, artist Gwen Keatley, returned to the land they both loved. Carmichael's work can be found at Rose's Art Gallery and is currently on display at the Art Gallery of Algoma until September 23rd. For Shaw TV, I'm Ann Gordonnaire.